One of the things that the report, which was the Justice Hegde, Santosh Hegde report, which was charged with looking at 6 cases, the 6 cases of the families that you've just seen on stage. One of the things that it shows very clearly when you look at the actual cases and they describe them is exactly what Colin is pointing out, the complete arbitrariness of the killings and the fact that they are often take place when it's dark and they can't see anything. The fact that they always claim that the victim shot at them and they shot back in self-defense, but the bodies show bullet wounds front, back, side, everywhere. So it's really, I think, quite useful to have that kind of report which just takes apart every single hole in the evidence that there is. But you're absolutely right, it also reveals that the state is now the real terrorist. We'll turn now to Mukul Sinha. Mukul is a scientist turned lawyer. He's human rights, he's taken up lots of human rights cases in Gujarat, including the Ishrat Jahan case. He particularly came to Imphal in solidarity with the families of the victims, and he helped in the cross-examinations there. And he later also he helped in the cross-examination of witnesses, and later helped in the cross-examination of witnesses in Delhi when he came here despite his very, very busy schedule of cases in Gujarat. And the note that I have says that had it not been for his exposure of the so-called facts of these cases, the Hegde Committee could not have produced the kind of report that it did. So, Mukul.
Thank you. I think I should add a few more names to the list of names that we just heard. That was the list including Manipur and Kashmir. I think I should add Ishrat, I should add Kausar B, I should add Tulsi Prajapati, and scores more. Because I think the type of encounters that we are getting used to all over India are almost of the same type. And we have now, I think, several states. Now we have Chhattisgarh, where the Maoists are getting shot. Similarly, we have Andhra Pradesh, where we have the Maoists getting shot. And let me tell you, the pattern is absolutely pan-Indian. There is no difference. In fact, I think they have some sort of a central idea about doing things. I'll touch upon Manipur, but let me touch upon Gujarat for a moment before I come to Manipur, because whatever I could do in Manipur is perhaps the training they gave me in Gujarat, the Gujarat police. You see, there we have had now 6 major encounters, and the reasons are different. The reasons in Manipur is quite different from the reason in Gujarat. Gujarat is purely a political reason. There, Mr. Narendra Modi wants to become a Hindu icon, so he wants to, in every 6 months, kill a Muslim, profile him as a dreaded terrorist from, it has to be some big organization like LET or nothing less than LET, and then kill them and then say they had come specifically to kill him. So every 6 months we have this story going on, and it was going from 2002 to 2007 till the DIG got arrested. Mr. Banjara, I think he must be more known than Manmohan Singh at least. After Banjara got arrested, all of a sudden the terrorism stopped in Gujarat. Since DIG has been taken into custody, and now we have 30 more, and we should get some hope from that list of, we have not only list of victims, now we have list of policemen. And let me tell you, they have very good ranks. The last one that is running away is the Director General of Police, Mr. Pandey. I think you must have seen in the newspapers. So there are methods to make them run also. So therefore, we have now essentially a very similar pattern, but with different motives. In Manipur, I found the motive completely different. Manipur was once upon a time, I think the motive was supposed to be fighting militancy. In fact, I did not quite get the word UG there. Whenever I has to cross-examine, I has to come across the word UG. Now, UG for me means undergraduate. But then I never realized it was underground. So the UGs get shot in regular intervals there, and apparently that was the original motive of the forces. At least that was the justification. But as we saw it closely, these were no UGs. I came across a case of Azad, who was just a 12-year-old boy. His father was here. Trying out taking a completely dispassionate look, I couldn't find even an iota of evidence which linked him to any organization. Yet they caught him, took him to the field just behind his own house, and they shot him dead. And there were about 40 people. I will only comment only one part of these killings in Manipur, in this whatever little time I have, and that is the way they misuse or use, I would rather put use the Armed Forces Special Powers Act. You see, under that act, a military guy can shoot and kill without being questioned. I do not know how many of you know that act. I mean, the list of Kashmiri boys that were being read out today were the victims of that same act. So here you can't even question. But a necessity is that it should be under the direction of a military person. So when I cross-examined the whole lot, one thing I noticed, that though the killing was done by the commandos, that is the police force, they made it sure that some military officer was present and he was projected as the leader of the group. In fact, Azad's case is a typical case. If I remember, the man was Bronson Thanga, the police inspector who killed him. Actually, it was Bronson who actually did the entire job. And he was coming from a very, very far place. If I remember, that was Thorbal. Right, Bablu? Yes. And whereas here, he's just see the mechanism. He's just a havildar. And when I asked him a question, who gives you power to carry out such operation? He says, I don't have to ask anybody. I have the power. And he comes from a distant district of Thorbal, and he was coming to West Imphal to kill, which has a separate SP, police superintendent. I asked him that at least don't you have to ask the SP to come into this district? He said, I have to only tell them. A CD, a simple havildar. In fact, they have built up this commando group to such a, I think, brutal force and handed over Manipur to them. But, there's a but. They know that sometime or the other, some court or the other, or some magistrate or the other is going to question that killing. So, to cover it up, they have Armed Forces Act. So, this guy, who was coming all the way from Thorbal, it must be approximately 300 kilometers away from the point where he came and killed. He had Major with him, I think Major Balara from Thorbal. And when I asked the first question that who took the decision to come here and carry out the operation. He very proudly took that. He said, yes, it's me. But then he realized that it's me will get him in trouble. Next moment he says, but it was led by Balara. So you have to understand the mechanism they are using. Actually, and most probably, it is a joint venture, of course, of these two. But primarily, it is the commandos that are doing the killing, and I believe that they are doing the killing on behalf of some politician who are actually minting the money out of the central government fund that is coming into Manipur. I think that is the primary motive in Manipur today. A huge amount of central government fund is coming into Manipur, which is going into some civil work or infrastructural work, and they need their own contractors to take those work, and they use these people to first try to threaten them into dissuading other contractors from actually making any bid. And if these boys and the new contractor who takes the deal don't give the kickback to the ministers or whoever, these people are then shot dead. I think this is in most of the cases. There may be other political reasons, but most of the cases it is, I think, pure financial economic reason. But I think what is going on is terrible. But I see no reason to become pessimistic, because the day I went, I was very surprised when Bablu called me up from Imphal to Ahmedabad. It became a tale of two cities for me. So when I went there, I did find them very much out of focus, very much in the cloud of Armed Forces Act. But after 3 days, when we had grilled the policemen, about 20 of them, I could see quite a bit of people smiling on the other side, and quite a bit of worry on the face of the police. I think there is nothing to be pessimistic about. You have to keep on going, because while they have created a list of victims, we on the other side in Gujarat, we have created a list of police officers also. It's possible, and it is now headed by a Director General of Police. Thank you.
Thank you, Mukul. We'll turn immediately to Commissioner Satyabrata Pal, who's retired from the Indian Foreign Service in February 2009, and shortly afterwards he joined the National Human Rights Commission. And it was during his tenure with the NHRC that the NHRC came out with the revised guidelines to be followed in deaths occurring in encounters in 2010, which has had a considerable impact across the country. And the NHRC is one of the respondents in this case, in the Manipur extrajudicial execution case. And I believe you're planning a visit to Manipur as well. So.
Thank you. As Ms. Butalia said,